find clay to be the ultimate archival mark maker recorder that there is. Essentially, any sort of fingerprint or movement or reaction or intentful shaping is something that remains within the form. And whether I'm drawing into a surface or I am moving a coil around the rim of a pot, it's this record, right, of time and my thoughts and my ideas. Clay is something that I deeply connect with as a physical, interactive medium. I have to move my body, walk around, lift things, use all parts of my body to throw or to load pieces into the kiln. And I find that my spirit really connects with movement. And so this very versatile substance is something that I have to really engage with. I do like to have a lexicon of imagery. So I enjoy having a few central characters of young girls and young women that I think of as sort of parts of myself and people that I've known. The animals will pop in as a stand-in for other people that I know, and so sometimes the animals will be indicative of their personalities. Particularly for this exhibition, focused on some parts of technology and bringing in imagery of laptops and imagery of sometimes bones, sometimes beds, sometimes sort of our personal interaction with the environment, all show through some political or social events. There are some handguns and some other, maybe more suggestive objects that I'm using that are supposed to create some unrest in how we interact with the pieces. Specifically talking about how the Anthropocene is this projected geological epoch that has now been discussed as a substitute or sort of moving on from the Holocene, which was the geological epoch that we've been in for many thousands of years as humans. And now with the implication of climate change and humans' imposition on the earth has really changed the natural processes of our surroundings. And so I'm calling into question how humans have, in fact, changed the landscape through these traces of how we live our lives, how our real desire to create new technology has real lasting impacts. So taking a look at that, taking a look at ourselves, and trying to situate ourselves within this space of knowing that we are in a new age. In this exhibition, I have two types of work that I'm approaching with different techniques. The wall pieces are slabs that have been measured with torn edges to create a frame. So flat pieces of primarily red clay, a red earthenware, or a mid-fire porcelain. The surfaces for the wall pieces are consistent with printmaking technique called thermofax, which is a quick and easy screen print that is put through a machine with heat-sensitive material, a screen that responds to images that are printed from either a Xerox copier or a laser printer that has carbon in the ink. When the two run through the machine, an image is burned into the heat-sensitive screen to create a very detailed stencil. Accompanying the thermofaxes, the printed imagery, I use graffito, so I draw through a white slip to see the red clay underneath, and I add underglazes, textures, and a few glazes that I've mixed up myself, mostly at a low cone 04 temperature. The vessel forms are coil built. The forms of the pots were created from templates, so I created a template that follows the coils, and so that it can be even on all sides. Blending the coils, sometimes leaving the coils evident, and creating textures and patterns through wooden tools and other textured rollers that create some sort of interruption in some of the layers of coils. The surface is relatively the same as the wall pieces, adding sgraffitoed, thermofaxed, and hand-drawn, painted images and areas of color through underglazes, some oxide washes, mason stains, low-fire glazes. When people interact with my work, I hope they are drawn in by the color, which the palette is often very sort of soft and inviting. Once you look closer, the figures, the objects that are drawn, and the way that the imagery is composed often has sort of this cryptic, surreal story. And I am hoping that people's experiences and perspectives then connect themselves with this narrative, which sometimes is dark or sometimes is a bit uncomfortable or maybe is just super curious, and you're putting all of the different symbols and parts together to create your own story.